Welcome to Zoe Stories. From son to daughter. I always believed secrets had a weight. Some people carry theirs like a small stone in their pocket. Annoying, but harmless. Mine felt like a whole second life pressed against my ribs, begging to break out. My name is Ethan Wells, 25 years old, software technician by day. Something entirely different when the sun goes down. I lived in a quiet neighborhood in Portland, tucked away between identical houses with trimmed lawns and families who minded their own business. From the outside, I was the perfect son, quiet, hard-working, predictable. But no one knew who I became when the door clicked shut behind me. Nobody. Except me. And maybe soon. Isabella. My girlfriend of 3 years. Beautiful, sharp, impossible to lie to, another reason my secret felt like a ticking bomb. She had dark brown hair that curled when she was annoyed, eyes that could read my mood in one glance, and a voice soft enough to calm storms. She loved me. Or at least the version of me she believed existed. The version who didn't own a drawer full of silky stockings. The version who didn't keep lipstick hidden behind books on his shelf. The version who never stood in front of the mirror late at night, heart racing, as he watched a different person bloom from his reflection. The version who wasn't slowly slipping from son into daughter. It started years ago, before Isabella, before adulthood swallowed me whole. I was 13 when I first felt that pull, that soft whisper inside telling me I wasn't entirely who the world saw. It wasn't that I wanted to be a girl. Not exactly. It was that becoming feminine felt like stepping into sunlight after living in a shadow. Wearing softer clothes didn't just change how I looked, it changed how I felt. More honest. More alive. But the world didn't understand boys like me. So I hid it. Stuffed it down. Locked it in a private corner of my life where no one would ever look. Or so I thought. Tonight, I stood in the center of my bedroom, watching the dim glow of my lamp spill across the wooden floor. Outside, rain pattered gently against the window, steady, rhythmic, almost encouraging. It was happening again. That urge. That quiet, irresistible invitation. I opened the bottom drawer of my wardrobe, the drawer no one knew about. My fingers brushed against fabric that made my heart skip. A pale pink top. A delicate skirt. Black tights. The softest wig I'd ever saved up for. My breathing tightened just touching them. Just for a few minutes, I whispered to myself. Just to feel like her. Her. The version of me that didn't have to pretend. My pulse fluttered with both fear and excitement. Isabella had left earlier that evening to visit her sister. She said she might stay the night, but also mentioned she might come back if it gets too late. That uncertainty was the real thrill. What if she walked in on me? What if she saw everything? Would she understand? Or would she look at me like a stranger? I swallowed hard and sat on the bed. Every time I crossdressed, it felt like stepping onto a tightrope. One wrong move, one unexpected sound, and everything could collapse. Still, I couldn't stop. I slipped out of my jeans first. Then my shirt. The cold air kissed my skin, making goosebumps rise. When the skirt slid up my legs, something inside me loosened, as if I could breathe deeper in this form. When the soft top hugged my chest, my shoulders relaxed. When I pulled the wig over my hair, brushing the curls into place, I felt like the mirror finally reflected someone real. Not just Ethan. Someone softer. Someone freer. Someone dangerously close to becoming permanent. My fingers trembled as I reached for the lipstick. It clicked open with a soft snap, and the scent of vanilla drifted up. I slowly painted my lips, watching them transform, watching me transform. My heart swelled. My breath shook. I felt beautiful. Not handsome. Not decent. Not presentable. Beautiful. And yet, even in that joy, fear coiled in my stomach. What if Isabella saw this side of me and thought I was lying to her? What if she thought I wasn't enough of a man for her? What if this ruined everything? I stepped back from the mirror, staring at myself. Long hair. Glossy lips. A soft figure shaped by the clothes hugging my body. This wasn't just a hobby. This was becoming a part of me. A part too big to hide forever. Suddenly. Thud. A sound from downstairs. I froze. My heartbeat hammered against my ribs. No, no, she wasn't supposed to be home yet. She wasn't supposed to. Footsteps. Slow. Real. Getting closer. My throat dried instantly. I looked around wildly for a place to hide. Anything. The closet? Behind the bed? No time, no air, no options. Ethan. Her voice. Isabella. Home. Unexpected. Early. I felt the blood rush out of my face. She was just one hallway away. One step from the truth. 1 second from seeing me like this. My mind screamed. Do I run? Do I hide? Do I tell her? Do I pretend nothing happened? But it was too late. Her hand touched the doorknob. And I stood frozen. As her instead of him. The doorknob turned. My breath caught halfway in my throat. If fear had a temperature, mine turned the room to ice. Ethan, are you awake? Isabella's voice drifted through the door, gentle, unaware, impossibly close. I stared at my reflection one last time, heart thundering so loud I wondered if she could hear it through the walls. The girl in the mirror, me yet not me, stared back in panic. Lip gloss shining. Wig perfectly in place. Skirt hugging trembling legs. I looked too feminine, too real, too transformed to explain away. I darted toward the closet, but the second my hand touched the knob. Click. The door opened. I froze like a deer in headlights. Isabella stepped inside halfway, speaking casually at first. Babe, you won't believe what my sister. Then she stopped. Her eyes lifted. I watched them widen, her breath hitching faintly as the image in front of her registered. Not Ethan. Not the man she kissed every morning. A girl. A fully dressed, trembling girl standing in her boyfriend's bedroom. Her gaze flickered from my wig, to my makeup, to my skirt, down to my shaking hands. The world held its breath. But she didn't scream. She didn't even gasp. She just whispered. Ethan. Her voice cracked. And that one broken sound nearly shattered me. My legs weakened beneath me, and I lowered my head in shame. I can explain. I expected anger, shock, disgust. But Isabella just stood there, silent, searching my face with eyes full of questions. My throat tightened. Please, don't hate me. Isabella stepped forward slowly, like approaching a frightened animal. Why would I hate you? I'm just surprised. Surprised. That word felt like a blade. She took one more small step. Talk to me, please. I'm right here. I wrapped my arms around myself, suddenly aware of the softness of the top hugging my chest. The cold air brushing my legs through the tights. My lipstick trembling on my lips. Everything felt too real. Too exposed. I've been hiding this for years, I whispered. Since I was a teenager. I never told anyone because I didn't think anyone would understand. Her expression softened. And I didn't want to lose you. Silence stretched between us. Painful. Heavy. Yet strangely tender. Isabella breathed in deeply. Come sit with me. I sat down slowly on the edge of the bed, terrified, shaking. She sat beside me, close enough to feel her warmth, far enough not to startle me. Ethan, she said, her voice gentle but steady, why didn't you ever tell me? Because how do you tell someone you love that you're living two lives? I thought, if I told you, I'd lose you. My voice broke. You'd think I wasn't enough. Not man enough. Not normal enough. She looked at me, really looked at me. You think wearing this, she brushed a lock of the wig lightly, makes you less of a man? I don't know what it makes me. Her fingers paused, then fell back to her lap. Is this something you enjoy? She asked softly. Something that makes you feel safe? Safe. The word hit me like a wave. Yes, I whispered. It makes me feel like I can breathe. She nodded slowly. Not angry. Not upset. Just absorbing. But the silence that followed made my stomach twist. She was thinking. Too quietly. Too deeply. Do you want to be a girl? She asked. The question ripped the air open. I looked at her quickly. I don't know. Not exactly. I'm still me. I just feel different when I dress like this. Like I'm stepping into myself for a moment. Isabella watched me carefully, something unreadable flickering through her eyes. So, you've been doing this alone? All this time? I lowered my gaze. Yes. The next thing she said almost made me cry. You must have been so lonely. Her words cracked open something inside me. My chest tightened, tears burning at the corners of my eyes. Sometimes, yeah. She reached out slowly, hesitantly, then took my hand. Her fingers were warm. Mine were shaking. Ethan, I'm not going anywhere. My breath left me in a trembling rush, relief hitting me like a wave so sudden it almost knocked me over. But before that relief could fully settle, she spoke again, quietly. But I need to understand this. It's new for me, and it changes things. The words changes things stabbed deep. Not all change was good. She must have noticed the panic rising in my face because she squeezed my hand gently. I don't mean it in a bad way, she clarified. I just want to know what this means for us. For you. For who you want to be. Her tone was firm but caring. Exactly the kind of tone she used when trying to fix something fragile without breaking it. I nodded slowly. I'll tell you everything, I whispered. So I did. Piece by piece. Shaking voice. Trembling breaths. Years of fear spilling from me like water from a cracked glass. How I tried my mother's scarves at 13. How I stole moments alone just to feel feminine. How guilt ate at me every day because I felt like I was betraying her without meaning to. Isabella listened, really listened, without interrupting. Her expression shifting from surprise, to sadness, to empathy. When I finally finished, she exhaled slowly. This is a lot, Ethan, she said honestly. But I'm glad you told me. I nodded, wiping tears from my cheeks before they smudged the makeup. Do you want me to change? I can take everything off. No, Isabella said quickly, holding up a hand. Not yet. I blinked. Not yet. She bit her lip, eyes flicking over me again. Curious, thoughtful, conflicted. I want to see you. See me? She nodded. Not just Ethan. The other side of you. The one you've been hiding from everyone, even me. My heart stopped. Isabella, are you sure? She hesitated, but then firmness filled her eyes. Yes. If it's part of you, then I want to know that part too. Her words wrapped around me like warmth, but fear clawed at my ribs. She stood up slowly and walked in front of me. Her eyes traced my outfit again, slower this time. Not judging, studying. Stand up, she said softly. My legs wobbled as I rose. She circled me once, the way you'd walk around a piece of fragile art. Her fingertips brushed lightly over the fabric of my skirt. I inhaled sharply at the touch. It suits you, she whispered. My breath shook. You're not disgusted? No. Her voice was steady. Just adjusting. Then she lifted her hand to my chin gently. Turn around, she whispered. I did. Look in the mirror. I stared at my reflection. The girl staring back looked nervous. Beautiful. Vulnerable. Isabella stepped behind me, placing her hands lightly on my shoulders. Her reflection appeared beside mine. Is this how you see yourself? She asked quietly. I swallowed hard. Sometimes. Her expression softened, but her voice grew heavier, more serious. So what does this mean for us? For our future? Her words hung in the air, sharp and trembling. Ethan, have I been dating only half of you? My stomach dropped. I'm still me, I whispered. But is you becoming someone else? She asked. The question sliced deeper than anything else she'd said. Are you becoming my boyfriend? She whispered. Or my girlfriend? I couldn't answer. I didn't know the answer. And that terrified both of us. She stepped back slowly, folding her arms tightly across her chest. I need time. I need to think. Tears stung my eyes. Isabella, please. But then, knock, knock, knock. We both froze. Someone at the door. At this moment, I turned pale. Isabella's eyes widened. Who the hell? She whispered. Another knock, louder. Ethan. You home, son? My blood ran cold. My mother. Standing outside the house. Right now. While I was fully dressed, transformed, exposed. Isabella's face turned white. The knocks grew impatient. And we both knew. There was no time to change. No time to hide everything. No time to save my secret life. I stood there in heels, makeup, wig, skirt. Frozen. As my mother turned the doorknob. The doorknob rattled harder. Isabella and I exchanged a look. A look filled with pure, unfiltered panic. My heart felt like it stopped beating altogether. Makeup. Wig. Skirt. Heels. There was too much to hide. Too little time. Too much at risk. Ethan, what do we do? Isabella whispered, her voice cracking under the weight of the moment. But I couldn't even breathe, much less answer. Knock. Knock. Ethan, open the door. I know you're home. My mother's voice was sharper now. Impatient. Isabella grabbed my wrist, pulling me toward the bathroom. Go inside. I'll stall her. I can't go like this. I hissed, terrified. My makeup, my clothes, the heels. Ethan, move. She whispered urgently. I stumbled into the bathroom, nearly twisting my ankle in the heels. My hands trembled so much I could barely shut the door without making too much noise. Through the bathroom door, I could hear everything. Click. The front door opened. My mother stepped in. Isabella? What are you doing here? Her voice was filled with polite surprise and suspicion. She never liked surprises. Isabella forced a nervous laugh. Oh, hi Mrs. Clark. Ethan's just changing. In the middle of the day? Her voice turned sharper again. Let me see him. My stomach dropped. No. Isabella blurted out. Silence. A dangerous silence. I could imagine my mom's eyebrows rising. Why not? She asked slowly. Isabella scrambled. He's sick. Yes, he's not feeling well. Fever. Bad fever. I smacked my own forehead in the bathroom. Fever? Really, Isabella? My mother's skeptical voice echoed through the hallway. Strange. He sounded perfectly fine on the phone yesterday. I squeezed my eyes shut. Of course she talked to me yesterday. Why didn't I remember that? The air outside the door grew tense. Too quiet. Too dangerous. Then, Isabella. My mom's voice dropped to a low, suspicious tone. Are you hiding something? Isabella froze. I froze. No. Of course not. She insisted, but her voice shook. My mother wasn't convinced. Not even close. I'm his mother. I have every right to check on him myself. I heard footsteps, coming toward the hallway. Coming toward me. I felt the blood drain from my face. No. No, 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 no. If she saw me like this. If she saw the eyeliner, the lipstick, the wig. She'd never see me the same way again. My entire world would break. Isabella's voice came quickly, desperate now. Mrs. Clark, wait. Her footsteps followed. Please, just let him rest. He's my son, Isabella. Move aside. Their voices got louder. Closer. Right outside the bathroom. I pressed my back against the door, breathing faster and faster. Tears threatened to spill. Then, a loud, terrifying knock right on the bathroom door. Knock. 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 Ethan. Open the door right now. I squeezed my eyes shut. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I couldn't reveal myself. The room spun. My legs shook so badly the heels slipped slightly on the tiles. Then Isabella's voice came again, stronger this time. Mrs. Clark, stop. And then, silence. A long, sharp, suspense-filled silence. I pressed my ear against the door. Isabella lowered her voice. He needs space. My mother scoffed. Space? From his own mother. This isn't about you, Isabella snapped softly. He's overwhelmed. Let him breathe. Never in my life had I heard Isabella speak to her like that. Not even close. My mother didn't answer at first, but I heard her breathing, sharp and uneven. Then, "What's going on?" she demanded. "Tell me the truth." Isabella froze again. I could feel her fear through the door. She spoke carefully, slowly, choosing every word like stepping on thin ice. "Ethan is dealing with something personal." My mother's voice sharpened. "What personal?" "Something he's not ready to share yet." My heart squeezed painfully. My mom was silent again, long enough that I could picture her trying to piece together every possibility. "Is this about another woman?" she asked finally. Isabella almost choked. No, it's nothing like that." "Then what? Drugs? Money problems? Stress?" Her voice rose with each guess. Every wrong assumption twisted the knife deeper in my gut. "No," Isabella inhaled shakily. "It's about his identity." Silence. Heavy. Cold. My breath hitched. She said it. She actually said it. My mother's voice came after a long pause, confused and cautious. "Identity? What identity?" Isabella froze. And so did I. I wanted to scream. "Don't tell her. Please don't." But I couldn't make a sound. Isabella answered quietly. "Mrs. Clark, Ethan isn't okay. He's been struggling with himself." Footsteps shifted. Nervous pacing. I wished I could disappear. "Isabella." My mother's voice shook now. Is he in danger? Is he harming himself?" "No." Isabella said quickly. "Nothing like that." "Then what is this?" My mother pressed. The air grew thick. Too thick. Isabella whispered, barely audible. "He's dealing with something private. Something he'll share when he's ready." My mother exhaled hard. "And you think I shouldn't know?" Isabella hesitated. "Yes." That single word plunged a knife into both of us. My mother's footsteps moved away, then back again. "You're asking me to leave my son here when something is clearly wrong?" "He's not ready," Isabella repeated. A thick pause. My mother's voice came again, hurt this time. "You know, he used to tell me everything." I swallowed a sob. Isabella said softly, "He still loves you. He just needs time." Finally, after what felt like forever, my mother let out a shuddering breath. "Fine," she said quietly. "But tell him I'm coming back later. And he will open the door." The front door opened. Closed. Silence fell over the entire apartment. A shaky breath escaped me. Then another. Isabella rushed to the bathroom. I unlocked the door with trembling fingers. She stepped inside quickly, pulling me into her arms before I could fall apart. "It's okay," she whispered. "She's gone." I collapsed against her shoulder, sobbing in relief and fear and humiliation all at once. "I can't do this," I choked out. "I can't." She almost saw me. "Isabella, what if she finds out? What if everyone finds out?" She held my face gently between her hands. "Ethan, breathe." "I can't," I whispered. "Not like this." She looked into my eyes, wiping tears from my cheeks. "You don't have to decide anything right now. Not who you are. Not who you want to be. Not what this means." I shook my head. "I'm losing control. My life. Everything. It's falling apart." "No," she said firmly. "It's falling into place." I looked at her, confused and trembling. She touched my cheek gently. "I think this is who you are," she whispered. "And maybe, you were meant to be seen." Her eyes drifted over me. My makeup smeared, wig crooked, skirt wrinkled, yet she didn't look away. "But not like this," she added softly. "Not in fear." I stared at her. "What are you saying?" I whispered. Isabella took a breath. I'm saying, let's do this properly. Do what? I asked, voice barely audible. She held my shoulders, steady and sure. Let me help you become her. The room went silent. My heart stopped. My breath vanished. The world froze around us. Her. Not him. Not half. Not hiding. Her. Isabella. I whispered, voice cracking. What do you mean, become her? She smiled softly but with a strange intensity in her eyes. Let me teach you makeup properly. Let me style you. Let me help you explore this side of yourself. Not in secret. Not in fear. I felt lightheaded. But, why would you do that for me? Because I want to understand you, she whispered. And because I think, you've been suffocating long enough. I shook my head weakly. I'm scared. Good, she whispered. Because the truth is always scary. She lifted my chin gently. Let me see your real self, fully. No hiding. No rushing. No shame. A shiver ran through me. Isabella stepped back slightly, eyes sparkling with something between kindness and curiosity. Take off the wig, she said softly. My heart fluttered painfully. What? I want to redo everything, she said. I want to see you become her from the beginning. My hands shook uncontrollably as I lifted the wig off. My hair underneath was matted, messy, half-flattened. Isabella picked up a brush. Sit, she whispered. I obeyed. She gently brushed my hair, slow strokes, soft and comforting. Something about it felt intimate, more intimate than anything we'd ever done. Not sexual, not playful, but tender, real. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. You don't have to be afraid of who you are with me. My eyes stung again. Even if who I am isn't what you expected. I whispered. She kissed the top of my head lightly, especially then. I closed my eyes. Her fingers ran through my hair. Her voice wrapped around me like warmth. You've hidden for so long, she whispered. Let me help you. Come out of the dark. I felt a tear slide down my cheek. I wasn't ready. I was terrified. I was shaking. But for the first time in my life, I felt seen. And then, her voice came again. Soft, but full of meaning. What should I call her? She whispered near my ear. My breath froze. She wasn't asking if there was a her inside me. She was asking. Her name. The rain outside had slowed to a gentle drizzle, but inside my chest, a storm raged on. Every heartbeat screamed like a drum, every breath was a struggle, and every glance at the mirror made me question if I was making a mistake, or finally embracing who I was. Isabella sat across from me on the bed, arms crossed yet strangely patient, her eyes never leaving me. I could feel her curiosity, her concern, her silent encouragement, and it terrified me. What if this goes too far? I whispered, my voice barely audible over the soft sound of the rain tapping the window. Too far? She echoed, tilting her head. Ethan. Or her. You mean her? My throat tightened. The pronoun alone made me shiver. I wanted to retreat, to run back into the safety of the version of me that nobody could see, but something in Isabella's steady gaze rooted me in place. I don't know, what if I lose myself? I admitted. What if I can't come back? She reached out, fingertips brushing my arm softly. Then maybe, you don't have to. Maybe this is who you're meant to be. Her words both thrilled and terrified me. I could feel my pulse quicken, a strange mixture of fear and excitement coursing through every nerve. Do you want me to help you? She asked quietly, almost hesitantly. Not just see you like this, but really help you become her? My eyes widened. The thought of letting someone see me so exposed, so vulnerable, was terrifying. But there was a part of me that burned with desire to be seen fully, truly. Yes, I whispered before I could think. Please. She smiled softly, a gentle warmth washing over me. Good. Then we start properly. I followed her instructions like a nervous student. She guided me through the mirror, showing me how to apply makeup with precision instead of haste. Foundation, blush, eyeliner, lipstick. Every stroke transformed me more into the person I had longed to become in private moments. Each movement of her hands over mine sent shivers down my spine, but also an unexpected surge of confidence. "Don't rush it," she said gently. "Every detail matters." Her guidance was precise, almost meticulous, yet tender. She adjusted the wig, brushed the skirt into place, and made subtle suggestions on how to carry myself in heels. With each correction, I felt a strange blend of embarrassment, exhilaration, and awe. "This feels so real," I murmured. "Like I'm finally me, but also scared." "That's normal," she said. "Being yourself for the first time in front of someone else is always scary. But you're safe with me." I took a deep breath, steadying my trembling hands. Slowly, I began to mirror her suggestions. My posture straightened, my movements softened, my hands became delicate in ways they never had been before. I could see her nod approvingly in the mirror reflection behind me. Then came the most terrifying part, the reveal. Isabella suggested I walk toward the hallway mirror, fully dressed and transformed, with her observing. Every step made my legs wobble, the heels threatening to betray me. My reflection stared back at me, someone I had secretly longed to see, yet had feared meeting. "You're beautiful," she whispered from behind, and the words cut through my fear like a blade of warmth. "Really beautiful. And more than that, you look confident." Confidence? I laughed shakily, unsure if I could even claim that yet. "I don't feel confident," I admitted, voice trembling. "I feel exposed." "And that's okay," she said softly. "Exposed is the first step to being free." Hours passed in a blur of whispered guidance, small victories, and nervous laughter. Isabella and I experimented with outfits, accessories, and subtle touches. Rings, necklaces, bracelets. Every new item enhanced the transformation, pushing me further into the identity I had long hidden. Yet, with every moment of joy, fear lurked in the shadows. My mother could return at any moment. Friends, neighbors, colleagues, all could discover this secret I had protected for so long. And in that fear, every heartbeat became a drumbeat of suspense. "You're doing amazing," Isabella said, her voice grounding me when panic threatened to take over. "Just let yourself feel it. Don't fight it." I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the sensation wash over me, the soft fabric of the skirt, the gentle brush of the wig, the smooth lipstick, the heels grounding me and yet making me feel taller, different, powerful. And with each detail, I felt more like her, more like the person I had always wanted to be, yet with a mix of exhilaration and vulnerability that left me dizzy. "Look at me," Isabella said suddenly. I opened my eyes. "Really look. Who do you see?" I hesitated, studying my reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back was delicate, nervous, alive. But she was me. Every inch of me, my fears, my desires, my secret life, was reflected there. I see myself," I whispered. "Yes," Isabella said, smiling softly. "And now the world might see you too, one day. But for now, just feel this. Let it sink in. You're allowed to exist like this." The emotional tension was almost unbearable. My heart raced, tears welled in my eyes, yet beneath it all, there was a strange, exhilarating joy. This was a moment I had longed for, yet feared. And then, the sound came. A quiet creak from the hallway. My stomach dropped. Panic surged anew. My mother? A neighbor? Someone discovering me mid-transformation? Isabella's hand on my shoulder steadied me. "Stay calm. We're not done yet. But, we might have a visitor soon." I nodded, heart thudding like a drum in my ears. Every instinct screamed at me to hide, to run, to change back. But a part of me, the part that had always ached to exist fully, whispered, "No. Stand. Be her. Let yourself be seen." And for the first time, I realized the transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional, spiritual. Every step, every glance, every brushstroke was pulling me further into an identity I had feared for years, yet secretly craved. Isabella guided me to the center of the room, instructing me on posture, voice, and gestures. Each subtle adjustment made me feel more real, more alive. The thrill of discovery mingled with the terror of exposure. Every sound outside the room, a creak, a knock, the wind, sent shivers through my body. But with Isabella's presence, I found a strange balance between fear and excitement, secrecy and self-expression. By the end of the night, I wasn't just Ethan hiding behind clothes. I was her. Fragile, trembling, beautiful, alive. Yet, deep in my gut, I knew this was only the beginning. The real challenges, my mother, the outside world, Isabella's reactions, and my own fears, were waiting just beyond the door. And in that suspenseful quiet, I understood the truth. The transformation was no longer a secret. It was a choice. A choice I had to live with. A choice that could change everything. The doorbell rang. Sharp. Loud. A sound that sliced through the fragile calm of the apartment like a knife. My heart lurched violently. Isabella froze beside me, eyes wide, fingers gripping mine. No, no, it can't be, I whispered. Who is it? She asked softly, though her voice betrayed the tension coiling around her chest. My mom, I admitted, my throat tight. The word felt heavy, dangerous. She could ruin everything. We both stood there, holding our breath, listening to the hurried steps approaching the door. Each step was a countdown, each breath a hammer in my chest. I had never felt so exposed, so vulnerable. Isabella pressed a finger to her lips, a silent warning. Stay calm. We'll handle this. But I could feel the sweat trickling down my spine. My fingers, trembling in my gloves, betrayed me. Every inch of me screamed to flee, to hide, to erase the girl in the mirror and become Ethan again, my safe self. The doorknob rattled. I wanted to scream, but my voice caught in my throat. Isabella's hand found mine. She squeezed it gently, grounding me. Look at me, she whispered. You're ready. You can do this. I nodded weakly, though I wasn't sure what this even meant. The door creaked open. My mother's face appeared first, eyes sharp, scanning the room, a faint frown etching her forehead. Then she looked at me. And froze. I froze too. She blinked twice, then slowly raised a hand. Ethan. I swallowed hard. My heels clicked against the hardwood floor as I took a tentative step forward. Every movement felt amplified, every shift of my skirt or wig a potential betrayal. Yes, I whispered. My voice cracked, soft and unfamiliar. She stared at me, confusion battling suspicion, and a flicker of something else I couldn't read, perhaps fear? Curiosity? Is this a joke? She asked finally. Her tone wavered, uncertain, but her eyes never left mine. I shook my head. No, Mom. It's me. The words felt heavy, real, dangerous, but liberating in a way I hadn't expected. Isabella stepped forward, placing a protective hand on my shoulder. Mrs. Clark, please. Let him explain. My mother's gaze flicked to Isabella, assessing, skeptical, yet she didn't interrupt. That gave me the courage to speak. I've been hiding this for years, I began, voice trembling but gaining strength with each word. Ever since I was a teenager. I've always felt different. And dressing like this, being her, it makes me feel whole. My mother's lips pressed into a thin line. Her arms folded across her chest, but she didn't leave. She was listening. And somehow, that terrified me more than anger ever could. You've been, what? She asked slowly. Dressing like a girl? Yes, I whispered. Not to hurt anyone. Not to play a game. Just, this is who I am, at least part of me. The silence that followed was unbearable. Each tick of the clock, each breath, each flicker of my mother's eyes, watching me, dissecting me, felt like a trial. Finally, she exhaled slowly. I don't understand. How long? Years, I admitted. I've been scared. Scared you wouldn't accept me. Scared everyone would judge me. My mother's expression softened, but unease lingered. And Isabella, she knows? Yes, I said. She helped me be myself safely. Tonight. She looked between us, her eyes narrowing slightly. Safely, huh? Yes, Isabella said firmly. We're careful. He's exploring his identity in a way that's healthy. It's who he is, Mom. My mother's face turned pale. I don't know what to say. And then, laughter. Nervous, soft, shaking. I froze. Wait, you're laughing? I whispered. Yes, she said, shaking her head. This is unexpected. But not bad. Just. Her voice trailed off, eyes glistening with emotion. I've never seen you like this before. And I guess I didn't expect to, but you're still my son. And yet, not just my son. My stomach twisted. Relief? Fear? Confusion? All of it tangled in a wild knot. She took a step closer. You look different. And beautiful. Scared, yes, but beautiful. I swallowed hard. My knees threatened to buckle. Isabella squeezed my hand, steadying me. Mom, I know this is a lot, I whispered. I don't want to lose you. You won't, she said. Her voice softened further. I might need time to adjust, but I don't hate you. A tear slipped down my cheek. Not from fear this time, but from relief, from release, from being finally seen. And yet, the tension wasn't over. A sudden knock at the window made me jump. Both Isabella and I turned. Outside, a shadow lingered. Watching. Waiting. My heart froze. Who is that? My mother whispered, stepping closer protectively. I stepped to the window. A figure moved in the darkness. Too tall, too deliberate, too familiar. It was someone from work. Someone who shouldn't know. Panic surged again. Isabella whispered in my ear, "Stay calm. Don't panic. We can handle this." But my body betrayed me. My heels clicked too loudly, my wig slipped slightly, and I could feel every ounce of vulnerability being exposed. The shadow knocked again, slower, deliberate. My stomach dropped. I realized then that my secret life, my carefully guarded identity, was about to collide with the real world in a way I could never fully control. And I had no choice but to face it. The shadow at the window moved closer, its silhouette obscured by the dim streetlight. Every nerve in my body screamed danger. My mother stepped protectively in front of me, her eyes wide, alert, scanning the dark figure outside. "Who is it?" she asked, her voice tight with unease. I don't know, I stammered, my hands trembling. My heels clicked against the floor as I stepped closer to the window. The reflection staring back at me in the glass, her, looked delicate, nervous, yet defiant. Isabella placed a hand on my shoulder. "Stay calm. Don't react too fast. We can control this." But control felt impossible. My heart pounded, and my breath came in short, sharp gasps. The fear of exposure mixed with exhilaration, making my body buzz with adrenaline. The shadow tapped the glass again, slower this time. I could barely see their face, but I recognized the posture, the movements. It was someone I knew from work, Mark, a colleague who had always been suspicious of me, always a little too curious about my life outside the office. Panic surged through me. If he saw me like this, my life would implode. "Mom, stay behind me," I whispered, my voice shaking. "And Isabella, what do we do?" She glanced at me, eyes calm but serious. "We need a distraction. Go to the bathroom, now." I nodded, heart racing, and slipped into the bathroom, the door clicking shut behind me. The sound of Mark's footsteps and low, suspicious muttering reached my ears. My mother tried to speak, but Isabella's hand on her arm held her in place. "Mark, what are you doing here?" my mother asked, voice steady but wary. I could hear Mark's response muffled, but sharp. I saw lights, and I wanted to check if Ethan was home. I didn't expect anyone else. Every word from him felt like a dagger. My secret, my carefully hidden identity, was inches from being exposed. I held my breath, heart slamming against my ribcage. I could hear Isabella moving behind the door, whispering instructions. "Stay still. Don't make a sound. I'll handle him." I gripped the edge of the sink, leaning into the cool porcelain, trying to calm my racing thoughts. The makeup on my face felt heavier now, almost like a mask that could crack with the slightest movement. The wig itched, The heels pinched my feet, but I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything except wait. Suddenly, I heard Mark's voice rise slightly. I swear I just wanted to check. I didn't mean to intrude. My stomach twisted. If he came in. A sharp rap on the bathroom door made me jump. Ethan? Are you in there? It was my mother. Her voice was concerned but firm. I whispered, barely audible, yes. I'm fine. Just need a moment. The shadow outside finally moved away, footsteps retreating down the stairs. A wave of relief washed over me, but it was mixed with lingering terror. Isabella peeked through the door crack. You're safe for now. But this is just the beginning. We need to be careful. Everyone out there could see you, or worse. I leaned against the door, sliding down to sit on the floor, tears threatening to fall. I can't do this. The world, it's too much. She knelt beside me, brushing a tear from my cheek. You can do this. You've survived this long hiding. Now you're ready to survive being yourself. It's scary, yes, but you're not alone. I looked up at her, the weight of fear and longing in my eyes. But what if they never accept me? What if they reject me completely? Isabella smiled softly, holding my hand. Then they're not worth your energy. The people who matter will see you, all of you, and they'll love you for it. I swallowed hard. My mind raced. Could I really stand in the world as her? Could I really live without hiding? The thought was exhilarating, but terrifying. Minutes later, my mother returned from the kitchen, her expression unreadable. She held a cup of tea in her hand, setting it on the counter. I don't fully understand this yet, she admitted, her voice quieter now. But I see you. And I don't want to fight you. Not if this makes you happy. My heart lurched. Relief, disbelief, fear, all collided. I could barely process her words. Isabella whispered, see? Not everyone is the enemy. Not everyone will reject you. But just as I started to relax, a sharp ping came from the apartment door. My phone. Mark's text, I saw something. Are you okay? My blood ran cold. The game of hiding wasn't over. Every secret, every detail, every moment of transformation was still under threat. I realized then that being her, fully openly, would never be safe. The world outside was filled with curious eyes, judgment, and danger. Yet, for the first time, I felt ready. Ready to confront the fear. Ready to take the risk. And with Isabella by my side, guiding me, steadying me, I knew I wasn't alone. But just as I took a deep breath, determined to face the challenge, a loud crash echoed from the living room. I froze. My mother gasped. Isabella moved in front of me, eyes wide. The heels I had carefully chosen slipped slightly as I instinctively stepped toward the door. My wig shifted, the reflection in the mirror catching my panic. Someone or something was inside. The shadows danced across the walls. My secret, my identity, my life as her, all teetered on the edge. And I knew. The world was about to see me truly. The crash from the living room echoed again, louder this time. My heart slammed against my ribcage. Every nerve in my body screamed, every muscle tensed. The heels pinched my feet, the wig itched, my makeup felt like it could smear with a single wrong move, and I was standing on the edge of disaster. Stay calm, Isabella whispered in my ear. Her hand gripped mine tightly. Whatever happens, we handle it together. I nodded, though my legs were trembling so badly that I almost fell. My reflection in the hallway mirror, her, looked terrified yet resolute. I realized then that she, this version of me, was stronger than I had ever been. I took a step toward the living room, each heel clicking like a warning bell. The shadows shifted under the dim light. I could see the silhouette of someone moving, and my stomach dropped. It was Mark. He was holding a small flashlight, sweeping it across the apartment. The beam caught my reflection in the mirror, then flicked toward me. Ethan. He called, voice uncertain, almost nervous. What are you doing? My mother gasped behind me, but Isabella stepped forward, shielding me. He's fine, she said firmly. We were just exploring something personal. It's private, and we need privacy. Mark frowned, squinting at me. I don't understand. I swallowed hard. My voice quivered as I spoke, but I forced it out. It's who I am. Please, just leave us alone. Mark hesitated, the flashlight shaking slightly in his hands. The tension in the room was unbearable, like a taut wire ready to snap. Suddenly, the wig slipped slightly. My hairline revealed the edge of the transformation. My chest constricted, I froze. Isabella noticed instantly. She rushed to adjust it, whispering urgently, "Hold still, don't move." Mark's eyes narrowed. Wait, what? Before he could say more, the front door slammed open. My mother stepped forward, voice firm. "Enough, Mark. He's my son, and I won't have you invading his life. Now leave." Mark hesitated, glancing between my mother, Isabella, and me. The flashlight beam flickered across my face, capturing the full transformation. His expression shifted, confusion, curiosity, and shock all at once. You look different," he said finally. I didn't know. Ethan." I took a shaky breath, feeling the weight of every gaze in the room. This was it. Exposure. Vulnerability. My secret life, my identity as her, was completely visible. "Yes," I whispered. "It's me, or her. And this is who I've been hiding." Mark's mouth opened, then closed. He didn't know what to say. The tension was suffocating. My mother's protective stance, Isabella's calm determination, and my own trembling hands created a triangle of suspense, like the calm before a storm. Then, without warning, Mark stepped closer. My pulse skyrocketed. "You're really doing this?" he asked slowly, almost in awe. "Yes," I said, voice steadier now, though my heart threatened to explode. "This is me. Fully. No hiding." Mark nodded slowly, as if accepting the reality he had never expected. But the relief was short-lived. A sudden shatter came from the kitchen. Glass exploded across the floor. I spun, heart hammering. "What now?" my mother demanded, moving toward the sound. I realized instantly, it wasn't the end. Someone else had entered. Or perhaps the wind had caused something to fall. But in that moment, every fear I had ever held about being discovered surged to the surface. Isabella grabbed my hand, her grip firm. "Ethan, we need to move. Now." We bolted to the bathroom, the heels threatening to betray every step. My reflection in the hallway mirror flickered in the corner of my eye, her face, pale and terrified, yet strangely determined. We locked the bathroom door, and the room fell silent, except for the distant sound of footsteps and the faint hum of the city outside. I sank to the floor, hugging my knees. This is too much. I can't do this." Isabella knelt beside me, brushing hair from my face. "Yes, you can. You've made it this far. Look at yourself, you're stronger than you know." A long pause filled the room. Then, a slow, deliberate knock on the bathroom door. "Ethan, open up," came a voice I didn't recognize. My stomach froze. Isabella's eyes met mine. "We're not safe. Not yet." I realized then that the real world was waiting for me, outside this door. My secret, my identity, my life as her, was on the edge of being revealed to everyone. And in that moment, I understood, there was no going back. The knock came again. Louder. Closer. And then, a whisper through the crack of the door. "Time to face the truth, or lose everything." The whisper at the bathroom door sent chills down my spine. Every instinct screamed at me to hide, to flee, to erase her from my reflection and become Ethan again. But it was too late. The door had become more than a barrier. It was a threshold. A threshold between the secret I had kept for years and a world that might never accept me. Isabella's hand tightened around mine. "Whatever happens, stay calm. We'll face it together," she whispered. Her voice was steady, a lifeline in the chaos. I took a shaky breath and forced myself to meet the mirror. My reflection, her, looked back at me, eyes wide, trembling yet strong. This was no longer just a costume. This was me. Fully. exposed, vulnerable, alive. The knock came again, deliberate, insistent. I could hear footsteps moving outside, slow and purposeful, echoing through the apartment. Each sound hammered my chest. "Ethan, open up. You can't hide forever," the voice murmured again. I glanced at Isabella, panic and fear mixing in my gaze. She nodded slightly, a silent signal that it was time to act. With trembling hands, I unlocked the door just enough to peek through. The hallway was empty, shadows stretching under the dim light, but a faint silhouette lingered at the end, watching, waiting. Suddenly, my phone buzzed in my pocket. Mark's text lit the screen. "I know something's happening. Are you really okay?" I felt my stomach twist. The world outside my secret life was closing in faster than I could imagine. If anyone saw me like this, my carefully guarded identity would shatter. Isabella pressed her lips to my ear. "You have to decide. Stand as her or retreat. There's no turning back once you step out there." Every fiber of my being screamed fear. Every instinct wanted to hide. But beneath it all, a strange thrill pulsed. The thrill of finally being seen. Of being authentic. Of living without the constant mask of Ethan. I straightened, adjusting my wig, smoothing the skirt, feeling the heels grounding me despite the tremors in my legs. My reflection smiled at me, fragile yet defiant. "I'm ready," I whispered, voice quivering but firm. Isabella squeezed my hand. "Good. Then let's face it together." A loud creak came from the living room, the unknown visitor, the echo of Mark's curiosity, my mother's watchful presence. It all merged into a single wave of tension. I realized then that nothing would ever be the same. My secret, my transformation, my identity as her, had collided with the world. And now, every choice, every step, every breath mattered more than ever. The bathroom door opened slowly, shadows shifting in the dim light. My heart raced, my stomach knotted. And in that moment, I understood the truth. My life had changed forever. No turning back. No hiding. Only the uncertain path ahead, full of suspense, fear, and the thrill of finally being seen for who I truly was. And as the footsteps approached, the whisper repeated once more, sending a shiver down my spine. Time to face the truth, or lose everything. I took a deep breath, squared my shoulders, and stepped forward. The whisper had faded, but its weight lingered. My heart was pounding like a drum, every beat echoing in my chest. The bathroom door still slightly ajar, the shadows in the hallway seemed to stretch and twist, as if the apartment itself was holding its breath. Isabella squeezed my hand, grounding me. "We have to move, slowly. One step at a time. You're ready for this, even if you don't feel it yet." I nodded, swallowing hard. My reflection in the hallway mirror, her, looked back at me. Vulnerable. Terrified. And yet, strong. This was no longer just a persona. This was me. Fully alive, fully exposed, and facing the world for the first time. I stepped into the hallway, heels clicking softly against the wooden floor. My stomach twisted as I glanced toward the living room. The room was empty, for now. But I knew it was only a matter of time before Mark, or someone else, returned. Every sound made me flinch, a creak in the floor, a rustle of paper, the faint hum of the city outside. "Keep moving," Isabella whispered. "Don't stop." I took a deep breath and moved toward the front door. Each step was deliberate, each motion measured. The skirt swished around my legs, the wig itched slightly, and my hands trembled, but I was determined. This was my choice. My truth. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the kitchen. "Ethan, is that really you?" My mother stepped into view, eyes wide but calm. Relief, confusion, and curiosity all mixed on her face. I froze. "Yes," I whispered. "It's me. Or her. And I can't hide anymore." She hesitated, then smiled softly. I don't fully understand it, but I see you. And I accept you, no matter what." Tears pricked my eyes. Relief surged through me, but just as quickly fear returned. The world outside this apartment didn't know. My colleagues didn't know. My friends didn't know. And the next knock, the next curious glance, could undo everything. Isabella stepped forward, brushing a strand of hair from my face. "It's not over yet," she said. "The world is watching. But now, you're ready to face it." The apartment fell silent for a moment. Then, the unmistakable sound of footsteps returning from the street below. Slow. Deliberate. Watching. I froze, every muscle tensed. My mother stepped protectively in front of me. Isabella whispered in my ear, "No matter what happens, remember who you are. You're not hiding anymore. And that makes you stronger than fear." I nodded, gripping my bag of essentials, my small kit for this transformation. Lipstick, compact, wig brush, my symbolic armor. Every item represented a piece of her, a piece of me, a piece I could no longer conceal. The footsteps grew closer. And then, the doorknob rattled. Mark? Another stranger? I couldn't tell. But I could feel my heart in my throat. Every instinct screamed danger, but also excitement. Because now, finally, the world would see her. I took a deep breath, lifted my chin, and whispered to myself, "This is who I am. And I'm not hiding anymore." The doorknob clicked. The door began to swing open. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. The storm outside had passed, leaving only the occasional drip of rain from the roof. But inside, the tension was electric. Every shadow, every creak, every faint noise made my heart race. I sat on the edge of the bed, wig slightly askew from last night's chaos, heels still on, fingers clutching the compact mirror like a lifeline. Isabella sat beside me, her eyes calm but alert, scanning the room as if she could see through the walls. "We can't stay here forever," she whispered. "The world outside. It's waiting. And it's curious. It wants answers." I nodded, feeling a mix of fear and anticipation. The truth was no longer something I could hide. Ethan was gone. Fully replaced by her, by me, by this version that longed to exist openly. But with exposure came risk. A sudden knock at the door froze me. My heart lurched. "Ethan, I need to talk to you," came a voice from the other side. It was Mark. I felt every muscle in my body tighten. He had finally returned, curiosity or suspicion driving him to confront me. My mother had gone out to run errands, leaving Isabella and me alone. The apartment felt smaller, the shadows deeper, the stakes higher. "Stay calm," Isabella whispered, gripping my hand. "You decide how this goes. You're in control now." I took a deep breath, adjusted my wig, and smoothed my skirt. Every piece of her, my identity, my courage, my vulnerability, was ready to step into the spotlight. "Mark. Come in," I said, my voice steady but soft. The door creaked open. Mark stepped inside, his eyes flicking between me, Isabella, and the room. For a moment, silence hung heavy. His expression was a mixture of shock, disbelief, and intrigue. I didn't expect this," he said finally. "I mean, I knew there was something different. But this—" "Yes," I interrupted, standing taller. "This is who I am. No secrets. No hiding. And I'm done pretending." Mark froze. The tension in the room was palpable. Isabella moved slightly behind me, protective yet confident. My heart raced, but beneath the fear, a strange thrill pulsed. "This changes everything," Mark murmured, almost to himself. "Yes," I said firmly. "And now you get to decide. Do you accept me or walk away?" He hesitated. Every second stretched like an eternity. The apartment was silent except for our breathing. Outside, the city waited, the world ready to witness my truth. And in that tense, suspended moment, I realized, nothing would ever be the same again. The apartment felt suffocating. Mark's eyes flicked nervously between me, Isabella, and the carefully arranged room. The heels pinched my feet, the wig itched, and my heart raced so fast I could feel it in my throat. I don't even know where to start," Mark stammered, running a hand through his hair. "I mean, I knew you were different. But this is something else." I straightened, forcing confidence into my trembling body. "Mark, this is me. Fully. No masks. No hiding. And you can either accept it, or leave." He hesitated. His curiosity battled with confusion, suspicion, and a strange intrigue I hadn't expected. I don't understand. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wasn't ready, I said, voice firm but soft. Because it wasn't just about you, or anyone else. It was about me. Accepting myself. Finally being her me. Isabella stepped slightly in front of me, protective yet calm. Mark, she said, voice steady, you don't get to judge her. She's lived her truth in secret for years. And now, she's choosing to live it openly. Mark took a cautious step forward. I need to process this. I mean, it's a lot. You're different from how I thought you were. But you look real, confident, and beautiful. A mix of relief and tension washed over me. His words were hesitant, yet there was an acknowledgement there, a spark of understanding. I realized then that fear didn't always end in rejection. Sometimes, it could lead to recognition. But, he began, frowning slightly, people at work, friends, they wouldn't understand. This could ruin your life. I smiled faintly, adjusting my wig. Maybe. Or maybe it's time for some people to see me for who I truly am. For too long, I hid, I lied, I compromised myself. Not anymore. Isabella nodded. She's right. It's a risk, but a necessary one. You get one life. One chance to be authentic. And hiding only hurts you in the end. Mark's expression softened, the conflict in his eyes clear. I don't know what to say. But I respect that. More than I can explain. I think I need some time. I took a deep breath. The tension in the apartment felt like it was lifting, but the stakes were still high. The world outside was ready to judge, and Mark's curiosity could still cause trouble. Suddenly, a soft beep from the front door alarm startled us. Another visitor? A delivery? Or something worse? My stomach twisted. Isabella's hand tightened around mine. Stay focused. One step at a time. You've faced the fear before, it's time to face it now. I nodded, walking toward the door, heels clicking with purpose. My reflection in the hallway mirror, her, looked back at me, strong, determined, and ready. Mark followed cautiously. I'm not going to lie, he admitted. It's going to take time for me to understand this. But I think you're brave. And maybe that's what matters. I smiled, relief mingling with exhilaration. Brave isn't enough. But being yourself, that's everything. Just as I opened the door, the unexpected happened. A shadow loomed behind Mark, unfamiliar, deliberate. My heart froze. Another twist, another challenge. You're not done yet, a low voice said from the darkness. Time to show the world who you really are. The shadow in the doorway didn't move immediately, but the tension was unbearable. My heart hammered in my chest. The heels pinched painfully, the skirt swished nervously around my legs, and my hands trembled as I gripped Isabella's. Who's there? I demanded, trying to steady my voice. The figure stepped forward slowly. It was Sophie, a colleague from work I hadn't expected to see. Her eyes widened in shock, then softened with curiosity. Ethan, oh wow, you look amazing, she whispered. I froze, unsure how to react. Exposure. Real, unfiltered, unavoidable exposure. My private world, my transformation, my identity. Everything was suddenly in the open. Isabella stepped in front of me, protective but calm. She's proud of herself for finally embracing who she is. Show some respect. Sophie blinked rapidly, trying to process it all. I don't even know what to say. But, you're brave. Honestly, incredible. Relief washed over me, though nerves still twisted my stomach. These were strangers, co-workers, people who could judge me harshly. Yet they were seeing me for who I really was. Not Ethan hiding behind a mask, but her, confident, feminine, real. Mark stepped closer, hesitating. I think I understand now. It's not about what anyone else thinks. It's about being yourself. And you are. The words hit me like a wave. Validation. Acceptance. Finally. My heart swelled, a mixture of exhilaration and fear. The world could still judge me, still gossip, still misunderstand, but for the first time I felt seen. The emotional payoff. I took a deep breath, adjusting my wig, smoothing my skirt. Every inch of her, of me, felt alive. My reflection in the hallway mirror smiled back, no longer fragile, no longer hiding. Isabella's hand squeezed mine. See? This is what happens when you face fear. The world is scary, but your truth is stronger. I nodded, tears pricking my eyes. I never thought I'd feel this. Free. Exposed, yes, but also alive. And accepted. Sophie smiled warmly. You inspire people. More than you know. Mark gave a small, awkward nod. I want to be supportive. I can't promise I'll understand everything right away, but I want to try. For the first time, I realized that fear of exposure wasn't just about judgment. It was about losing control, losing who I thought I was. But now, embracing her fully, I felt empowered in a way Ethan never had. The world is watching. The apartment was quiet for a moment. Then, from the street below, I heard faint footsteps and distant voices. Neighbors. Passers-by. People who might see me, judge me, or even recognize me. I straightened, adjusted my makeup, and lifted my chin. This was it. Fully public. Fully exposed. Fully her. Isabella whispered, whatever happens next, you've already won. You've claimed your identity. The rest is just noise. I smiled, feeling the strength in her words. Yes, the rest could judge, question, or criticize. But inside I was free. Confident. Alive. I stepped toward the front door, ready to face the world. The heels clicked with purpose. My reflection, my true self, followed with pride and determination. Outside, the city pulsed with life. Unpredictable, loud, curious. And I, finally, authentically, was ready to be part of it. Mark and Sophie followed hesitantly, supportive but cautious. Isabella stayed close, her presence grounding me. And in that moment I realized, this was just the beginning. No hiding. No fear. Only the thrill of living openly, embracing her fully, and facing the world as she truly was. The apartment felt lighter now, the tension dissipating like fog under the morning sun. I stood by the window, heels clicking softly on the floor, watching the city move outside. Cars honked, pedestrians rushed by, and somewhere far off, life carried on. Unaware of the personal revolution that had just unfolded in our small apartment. Isabella leaned against the doorframe, her smile calm and proud. You did it, she said softly. You faced the fear, embraced her, and nothing, no one, can take that away from you. I turned, smoothing my wig and adjusting my skirt one last time. It's overwhelming, I admitted. All the exposure, all the risk. But I feel alive. Finally, alive. Mark and Sophie lingered nearby, uncertain but supportive. Their acceptance, hesitant at first, now felt genuine. I realized that people could surprise you, that judgment wasn't guaranteed, and that sometimes, the world could step back and see you for who you really were. My mother returned from her errands, her eyes soft and understanding. I saw a glimpse of her, of you, she said quietly. And I'm proud. You've taken the step most people never dare to take, being yourself fully. Tears pricked my eyes. Thank you, all of you. I was so scared of losing everything. But now I see that this is my life. My choice. My identity. Isabella reached out, brushing a strand of hair from my face. And this is only the beginning. The world may still challenge you, but you've proven to yourself that you can handle it. That you, are stronger than fear. I smiled faintly, looking into the hallway mirror one last time. Her eyes, the reflection of my authentic self, shimmered with pride, strength, and a newfound confidence. The girl in the mirror was no longer fragile, hesitant, or hiding. She was ready to live fully, openly, and without compromise. Mark cleared his throat awkwardly. So, what now? He asked. I laughed softly, a genuine, relieved sound. Now, we live. We embrace life. And we take it one day at a time, fully as her. Sophie nodded, smiling. It's inspiring, honestly. Seeing someone embrace themselves like this. It gives hope. Outside, the city moved, the world unaware of the quiet revolution that had taken place within these walls. But inside, the air was charged with freedom, courage, and the thrill of authenticity. And though there were challenges ahead, curiosity, gossip, judgment, I knew one thing for certain: I would never hide again. She, my true self, would face the world boldly, with confidence, grace, and courage. The heels clicked once more as I walked toward the door, ready to step outside. Isabella and my mother flanked me. Mark and Sophie followed cautiously. And as the door opened, sunlight spilled into the apartment. I took a deep breath, feeling the warmth, the life, and the world waiting for me. This was my life now. Fully her. Fully alive. Fully free. And somewhere, just at the edge of possibility, I knew. The adventure had only just begun.